Derek Carr was the true definition of an on and off quarterback. As you see, I was a fan. Definitely still a fan of the Raiders, of course, but yes, I had his shirt. But he retired today here on May 10th, early Saturday morning. For me, he was so frustrating to watch. He would start the season off first 3 weeks as an MVP type of quarterback, putting up great numbers, and then the rest of the season he would just flop, throwing so many interceptions, just being soft, losing fumbles. Again, frustrating to watch as a Raider fan. He would have good games here and there, but never a complete season, unless it was 2016. A little bit of 2015, too. Uh, Even though he was the franchise quarterback that the Raiders needed and lacked for years. Saints fans got to enjoy Carr for what he was for a couple of years and realized the same fate that I did, as Carr would get benched along as he did with the Raiders as well. He got benched last season, and he was also hurt with the Saints. It was just frustrating. But maybe it wasn't all him. Maybe the Raiders had something to do with it. Going back, the then Oakland Raiders drafted Derek in the second round of the 2014 draft. He would later end up starting because the team was so bad. He grew in 2015, put up great numbers, and then it only went up in 2016 as the Raiders had their best season since 2002. Carr was a big part of the season, no denying that. Then late in the season against Indy at Oakland, he had a horrific injury that just stopped him from playing a playoff game in his career. Just tragic. Knew something was wrong right away, and as he laid on that Coliseum field, he just knew the season was done. After the injury, they wouldn't make the playoffs until 2022, and his numbers were just steady, but yet it could have been better. And then the Raiders moved to Las Vegas, and I think after a while you knew that they were going to want someone else. Even though they brought in his friend Devontae Adams and then signed Carr to a big extension, but kind of like a one-year deal, they released him. But before that, set him on the bench the last two seasons of 2023 season. There were a couple times I felt like he was overrated and overpaid. I mean, the Saint fans are feeling the joy now because some of that cap space is gone because he retired. So it feels good there. But I always knew this day would come where he retires because of injury. Now it's a shoulder injury. But I didn't think it would be so sudden. It was a day, after mini camps start. But he was smart, I think, to do that. Him and his family, really religious based. I think he knew it was time to go. He was an 11-year quarterback. It felt like he could have had more. But 4-time Pro Bowler, solid career, not a Hall of Famer. And then when you talk about Derek Carr, I never thought he was a true Raider. He cried on the field one time overseas after sustaining an injury against Seattle. He felt like that child that you loved, but you were mostly disappointed in. Like, he can never satisfy what you wanted him to do. Like, he never satisfied your expectations. That's how it felt like. Raider Twitter, I remember back then, was so torn on loving him despite having all the team passing records. He never had the toughness that I think a true Raider had or has had, and that maybe was his downfall. When you talk about the Raider image that's gone now, I'm so torn about Derek Carr and his retirement now. I'm just thinking, man, there's so much that was left undone. What do you think?